First opportunity to get this out in the bush.
Wow! Easy!
We'll air the BFs down to 18 psi, and it'll be a big test for them as well, because while there's a lot of tread on them, they're very old. So this is as late as an LN106 as you can get. It was the middle of the year 1997, and with this model, and I didn't know this, but it comes with the 456 diff gears in it. So the earlier LN106s with the 2.8 diesel, they had diff ratios of 4:3, so they weren't really powerful enough, the 2.8s, to overcome a big shoe on the highway. Having the 4.5s is that you can run that 285 tyre easily, which is a 33. Best part about them is in low range, well, the vehicle doesn't run away as quick as a 4.3, and you've got a little bit more control on the hills.
Trying to wet me? Are you trying to wet me?
More control, less depressing the clutch to keep the car running. So quite a bonus in my eyes, because the little dual cab that we had a few years ago had the 4.3s, running the 33s, it was terrible. And that's why I ended up putting reductions in the transfer case. So I did go to the trouble of putting the bench seat in. What I was seeing with that choice was that potentially both kids with both their motorbikes in the tray could be our Sunday car going to the mini bike club. Michelle did do the test, and unlike the 60s that have a lot of room in them because they're a much bigger unit, the kids are quite squashed there. But nonetheless, we did this run.
New hill. Check out the flex. That suspension is so soft.
The open centers coming into play. Without lockers, you've got to be pretty spot on your lines, and choice of lines at that. What's the front doing?
Your front left is stuck on the rock.
The front's sliding.
Nicholas, the passenger wheel, it's not turning.
Wait, let me see. Wait, go again, go.
Forward.
He doesn't have lockers, Millie. Give it, no, just pump it.
Got the IFS rears, so that's the IFS model with the leaf spring in the rear, which is a much longer leaf, and when you put them in the 106s you do get quite a bit more flex. So these are just a second hand set, they're no lift in them with the extended shackle. Look at that, that's so cool.
Dad, the front one's pretty much compressed too.
Oh yeah, I've got to check that, but there's nothing I can do about that except shock towers. Is it squashed?
I can't see, I'm just going to stop the camera.
I'll stick my finger in there. Yeah, it's squashed. It's totally squashed. That's all right. We'll talk about front shock lengths, and the ones that I've got in here now, I mean, they're giving me my maximum droop. If we have a look here at the ones that were in it, they're a much shorter shock, so you're going to have more up travel, which means more chance of that tyre hitting the body and less droop. And then we go to the next size up, which doesn't give us any up travel because it's bottoming out and it's too long. So if we look at bullet truck here, and we've got the shock hoops, so we can set that shock hoop up to whatever shock we need. I mean, you put a massive shock in there and you're still getting half of what the shock's got in travel. So the flex bullet's got is quite good for a leaf sprung car, and that's because we've got that shock hoop in there. While it looks like it doesn't get much flex, I mean, we've got all this up travel for the 40 to go up and do its job. It takes a lot to pick up a front wheel in this car. No, I'm happy. So now I can put that spare tyre back underneath, because we left it off for this first run that we're doing on it to see. And the fronts are just a front 2-inch, so no roughs or any fancy stuff up front. We've still got the factory J-arm, the factory torque rod, and the factory drag link. No drop drag link yet, no diff push. So factory length, front tail shaft, and the rear is still a 2-piece.
Dad, hold on. good.
Ah, the open centre again.
That massive rock there. Dad, come to me, try to get up that. Yep.
That wheel's off the ground. Bit of rubbish. Flex is one thing when you're talking about shocks and shock lengths. So I've been using the 106 for work of late, and with the big tray. Been using it more so to get rid of rubbish, to get rubbish to the tip. So carrying weight is another aspect of a shock's lengths. You can see here there's only a few millimeters, maybe 20, before this shock bottoms out because of all the weight. So while it's got good droop, I mean, if it was a tourer, then that shock would definitely be too long. And that's when we go back to probably the stock 79 one that goes beautifully into the back of the Hilux, the leaf sprung Hilux. And not a bad shock too. Not very useful in the back of a 79. Here's an example here of the 4.5s where you can see where we're idling with control and going slow. And the Hilux here not running away on me. I am using the brakes, but it's controlled. If we had the 4.3s here, it'd be running away a lot quicker.
Straight up.
You're just about to...
How far back can I come?
You're on this rock, but... Yeah.
I'm really making a mess of this here.
Dad! Driver's wheel's struggling to turn because of the rock in the way. Yeah, that's it.
I believe it. We got there.
Dad, your engine mount's rattling.
No, Nicholas, so don't think it's the engine mount. I will check it. The crossover pipe on this is very close to the bonnet. See the mark here where it's in low range, and I'm going like this quite slow, and I am using the brakes a little bit. Most likely that crossover is hitting. If I'd have known you were saying that on the day, probably would have just popped the bonnet so that it releases from the catch just to see if it had stopped or not.
Yes!
Good?
Yeah.
I love the mud flaps too because they're on rubber, they just bend up. We've still got the original airbox and it's been plumbed in to suit. It's got an aftermarket turbo kit pushing around 10 psi. It's got some fancy gauges here that show the EGT gauge, it shows the boost gauge, and it shows the voltage. And on some of the bigger hills coming here, sitting in fourth gear, we were hitting EGTs of probably 450, 460. So I think there's a little bit left in the pump to give us a little bit more boost. No AC, there's no belt. So we might hook the belt up and just see what needs fixing for that. We want to have the AC going, but very neat under here. Potentially an aftermarket radiator. I don't remember my earlier L motors looking like that. Still got the shroud for the clutch fan. So Nicholas has been experimenting with wheel weights. So just back from the 24-hour, have you been hanging around people like Dayton and alike, or Jacob? Because he's made me go to Cartech Tire and Auto, and thanks to Nick, Peter and George, we've got weights. What's this for?
That was for
Oh, that was for when it was upside down. But what he's doing on that front axle, he's going to stick on all these weights. Not all of them, but you only do it on the front.
Yeah.
I thought, I was starting to clean the rear. I thought, you're going to put them on the rear too.
Yeah, but then it's backflip.
Max. No, that's front flip.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, opposite. Okay. So we'll be sticking all these weights on, and then we'll take it out for a rip. So explain to us, you've got 20 grams on the top of the housing there, and then you've put 10 grams on each knuckle on the portal.
Hopefully they don't come off.
They should be good. I cleaned them and just got to push on them. Anyway, we've got a few more if they do. Otherwise, we just silicone them on. But you think that's going to make a difference? Oh, it's heavy in the front.
That's definitely a lot heavier.
All right. Happy wheeling.
Yeah, it's got to be. It's like a lot. Got to be like 60 grams.
60
heavier.
grams. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. Good mass.
Okay, so this like hill thing, it's never been driven because it's got this undercut at the bottom. Holding the front down.
Is it? Send it.
Nah, it won't. I need a.
Why do you listen to me for? I don't know what I'm talking about.
Toolbox good as a bench table.
Cold.
It is cold.
It won't make it.
Whoa! Oh, good save though. Well, if you can't get up it, try and come down it. I wouldn't stand there. You might get run over.
Oh, you think I'm gonna floor it?
I don't know. You're going to try and just crawl down. You got heaps of weight on the front axle. You got nothing in the rear. Oh, nice. That was easy. You can do a backflip and save it.
Backflip.
Oh.
Saved it. Dad, drivers, we're here. Come back in. It's already packed. Someone else has come. Easy.
You want lower gears?
Yeah. I don't want low gears. I just got to get used to being on the clutch. Being on the clutch more. I'm not on the clutch at all. I'm just trying to drive it like an auto. Drive it like I stole it, you know?
That was not driving like you stole it.
No. Because I've got to drive you guys home. And I don't want to call Mum and say, bring the car trailer out. So that would be like no dinner tonight. Or tomorrow night. Okay. Anyway, let's keep going.
It's gonna be...
That's all we got time this episode. Hope you enjoyed it. It was fun driving the car for its maiden run in my ownership, and a few little tips and tricks that I've learned along the way. I hope you enjoyed them. Spoke of the kids' mini bike season starting this weekend, so I'm really excited to get them back on their bikes and on the track. We'll catch you next time, and as always, thanks for watching.